Hey folks, welcome back to Let's Play Metal Gear Rising Revengeance Super Quest El Mariachi Edition on the Mysterious JG. Not quite at full health, don't have a full supply of healing, and yet I'm going to soldier on, using the power of slamming the Y button while holding this bow staff, which is made of the linked arms of those weird robotoids. A weapon we got from Mistral, whom we murdered. It was her, us. I mean, there was no peaceful way getting out of that situation, but this is not a game that has, like, non-fatal kills versus fatal kills either. You don't get to trank anybody. Oh, and we're also looking for an Indian kid, apparently. Oh, and I think we found him. Oh, we got to use, like, cool throwing knives. They're not really a thing for us in the normal game. Oh, 3 robot dinosaurs of a different variety.
Get out of here!
What, you some kind of robot ninja gangster?
Okay, so this could get ugly, because I also remember these guys being a pain in the ass. I was definitely hitting the evade button there, guys. Try to focus on one at a time, but it's tough to see where the what the heck their attacks that you need to parry are coming from. Damn. Okay, so there's no nano case retrieved there. I was trying to block and I hit the wrong button again. Getting a lot of that recently. Oh, it's dizzy. I didn't take advantage because I didn't realize. Okay, so apparently they're all still alive. Ghetto! Now I feel a little bad that I wasted nano repair paste, but it's okay. I'm sure it'll be alright in the end. I can't believe it. Probably got a C or a B. It's not as bad as a C. But we rescued little kid. Yeah, it'd be really nice if you could buy nano paste from, like, Drebin somehow, but that would probably make the game too easy.
Estás bien?
What you say?
He's Indian.
Oh.
Me a Guyanese from Guyana.
Oh,
You
not
speak
Indian.
English?
Yeah, I'm from America. Call me Ryden.
Well, I'm actually
Name
from
George,
Liberia,
like
but...
Georgetown.
George.
You mean Georgetown, like George?
And just like all damn America president.
Yeah.
I don't know why they're translating this kid
So
who's
what are you
speaking
doing
English,
here?
but...
Me? What the rest of you do here? You lose the map of Ninja Hideout, Ninja Man?
No, I'm looking for bad guys.
Well, you
There's
found one
a
and he kills you.
research lab.
You know about it?
Me know me now go back. Hey, you're not one of them skunt, nah?
No, I'm not a
Nah,
robot
I guess you're all
monster. Although I kind of look
If
like
you're
one.
a cyborg, you know who they is?
Sort of. What happened to you?
Oh, me been live on the street, raking scraper above, nah? Then this kootenai dressed like the mafia say, hey, boy, you want a job? What the worst gonna happen, nah? But that mother scum don't put me on a ras boat. They pack us all a big old dirty container. Next thing we know, we here at the Zombie Lab.
Jumbie Lab?
Like you?
That's my favorite
Yeah.
kind of lab.
A lot of boy. But then me been over here what them skunt wanna do.
Usually human trafficker
Snuff us
weirdos are
out.
picking up girls for
And got
reasons that
all
you
day
can
again.
imagine.
So you ran.
Ran so far away, couldn't get
Shame me
away.
not a bad-ass robot ninja man. Same
Robot
as
ninja
you.
cyborg gangster.
Me been strongest cyborg ever. Warlock all them phantoms and black clothes that eye pass me.
Starting to sound like a bad guy yourself.
Just playing,
The
nah.
bad motherfucker.
Me done plenty bad thing. But me not kill no man. Nah, never.
Good.
Me tried
Some of
to
the stuff
warn
they're
the boy.
like
I
they
said,
translated never
"Please
to
bring
either,
the
which is
cut
like,
out.
really?
Run your ass out of there. But them boy with me no understand. They like Spanish or something. So me the only one for escape. Then that machine come after me and
And I know the rest.
And then some other cyborg ninja
George,
showed up and
I
saved you.
need every detail about how you escaped.
I want to shake you around and scare you as much as possible.
So the kid got into the sewers through a drainage channel?
Yeah.
Well, that's
he says
what
the
we found
channel
out
is
in
super
off-screen
tight, but
conversation.
There's some kind of shutter next to it.
Got it. That must be where they dumped the waste.
And
There's
kids.
something else. It sounds like a Desperado exec was on site yesterday. If a Sentry Cyborg was on hand for the meeting.
You should be able to review their video log, provided you can find a server access terminal. That would give us the evidence we need, as well as a little peek at the level of their technology.
So
Sorry,
what
I
about
was
the kid?
listening in.
I made sure the area was secure and told him to sit tight. Can you pick him up?
You sent another
Sure.
ninja
I'll
cyborg
send
to
a couple
rescue him.
agents for him. You just focus on getting into that lab. If what he said is true about the organs, we need to hurry.
What did he say about the
Agreed.
organs? Was that part
Right
of what
now.
I heard, or is that part of the off-screen combo? You know, I'm gonna do a quick check. Probably have to actually beat a main mission before we get to unlock more stuff. But I would think unlocking level 2, like beating the previous mission, I would have thought maybe let us upgrade our main weapon. Nope. Alright. Here's a thought. Oh, I hope this means we're not going through that whole conversation again. Okay. Well, now I gotta bring on my this is enough plot that probably will get a little more dialogue. So.
Boris, we've got kids being held inside this lab.
Fun.
I'm getting them out of there.
Copy that. I will discuss with NGO what to do with them afterward.
Maybe turn them into sausages? I'm just kidding.
Well, this is difficult.
I'd use them to cross a
I imagine
minefield.
these are homeless children, taken from streets. Likely they have no home to return to. But we cannot dump them back on streets.
They'll get run
We
over.
could look for adoptions in U.S., but some of these kids may be criminals.
Or
be
not
drug addicts,
from
HIV
the kinds of
positive,
countries
not
that
so
they
easy to
currently
find
are
homes.
accepting immigrants
Yeah.
from.
Wasn't easy for me either.
That might be
The
from
guys at the
shithole
relief
countries.
center
You
were
know?
always worried I'd cause problems for my foster family.
The alternative is putting them in an institution until they grow up. But this has issues as well.
Basically,
Most
kidnapped
are
homeless
already
children,
past
as it turns out, are a problem.
Taking on this many street kids at one time would be impossible.
Making sound of
Also, it's
Sesame
a
Street.
matter of fairness. Is it fair to take in these kids here when millions more
Okay,
are dying?
Boris, let's move
I
on.
imagine
It's
this
getting
is
a
why
little
rescue was
upset.
not part of our contracted mission. The human rights NGOs, they know they can't rescue them all. They must take a wide view and confront the problem of traffickers, not their victims.
Well, we
Just
can't just sit here and let them pull kids to pieces.
Well, I agree with that.
On this, we agree. For now, rescue the children. We'll worry about the fallout later.
And
Copy
New
that.
Vegas.
Raiden, I said earlier this is an infiltration mission.
But pretty much
But
not
if it
stealth,
comes to
just kill
combat when
shit.
rescuing the children, so be it. If enemy cyborgs attack, you are free to respond with all
Oh,
available
thanks.
force.
I didn't realize up until this point I was supposed to let
Attacking
robot
first,
dinosaurs beat
that
the
would
shit
be
out
a
of me.
gray area, legally speaking. But I doubt anyone would take us to court over it.
And if they did,
Yeah,
we would just
I
use
doubt it, too.
robot
Just keep
ninja
your
warrior
hands off
tactics
all
to beat them off.
non-combatants. That would violate international law, not to mention morals of company.
I hear you.
Yeah, our ethics policy is all about not beating up robot cyborg monsters until they've attacked you first.
Raiden, I said earlier, if enemy
I-
attack
It seems
back,
like Boris is
just
the
have
one
an
that's
eye.
not getting that much dialogue. But recording might have 800 things to say here.
That kid said he's from Guyana. That's on the Caribbean side of South America, right? Know anything about it?
A little. Though I'm more of an expert on Africa than the Americas. To be exact, Guyana's sandwiched between Venezuela and Suriname, with Brazil on its southern border.
I hope he looked that up,
Of course,
because
the
I didn't know
Venezuelan
that,
border
and I'm
is
not an
sheer
expert on
rainforest.
Africa either.
There aren't even any roads through it. You have to cross the Guyana Shield to get to Brazil, too.
So it's pretty isolated from the rest of the continent.
Most inland connections run through Suriname, opposite of Venezuela. Beyond Suriname is French Guyana. The three countries are referred to as the Guyanas, and the entire region's got its own unique culture sphere.
The Guyanas. I've heard the name, but I don't really know it at all.
Well, I just told you everything there is to
Same
know.
here. I do know the region's a lot smaller than Brazil, or even Venezuela for that matter. As you know, most South American countries have Spanish as their official language. Brazil uses Portuguese.
That kid
Guyana,
uses some
though,
weird
uses
English. Oh, yeah.
Suriname uses Dutch, and French Guyana uses French, naturally.
A kind of divide and conquer approach to colonialism, huh?
Yeah. They're all independent now except French Guyana, though. Sort of like what you see in Africa. I did some research after you met George. Culturally, at least, Guyana's more Caribbean than South American.
Yeah? He looked a little Asian to me.
Well, that's because
There's a
you're
lot of
watching too much
immigrants from India
anime.
living there. They were both British colonies, after all. There's a lot more influence from the UK than India, though. I mean, look at George's name, after all.
An English-speaking South American of Indian background.
Everything good over there, Ryden?
Seems like they're just trying to cover all the bases
don't seem like you're in
demographically
much
for
of a
this
hurry.
game.
Give me some time. I've got a lot of intel to gather.
And gorilla
Speaking of
robots
which,
to beat
I'd
up.
better get going. Riding out.
Actually, you know what? I think I'm gonna do 50 minutes of chit-chat while all these kids are being pulled apart like, you know, bread.
Those brains are from the street kids they picked up in Central and South America.
What brains?
Right? Abducted by traffickers and sold to Desperado.
Right. And now it looks like they're selling off their organs.
That
Yeah.
part of the
I
world
think
is
this
full
we're
of homeless
probably
kids.
supposed to have advanced a bit
True.
further before we
Though
heard
really,
this.
just about every nation's full of them. Except the richest ones, that is. You see a lot of them across the African and Asian continents, too. Estimates put the worldwide number of homeless children at anywhere from tens to hundreds of
I think there's
millions.
more than tens.
Kind of a broad
Tens of
range.
homeless children.
I guess it's hard to do solid research in the kinds of places where you'd find them.
True enough. The way the Human Rights NGO put it, though, it's hard to define what a street child is.
Who have problems with
There's lots
street
of different
kids.
types. Some are on the street because they ran away from home, but really they can return any time. Some work on the street but go home at night. And some kids literally live on the street with no family.
Go home at night? Those kids still count as street children?
Well, how can you
Well,
tell by
the point is
glancing?
that there's no set definition. Everyone involved has their own take on the issue. Without a clear definition, estimates inevitably end up all over the map.
Makes sense.
If you're going to talk about street kids, though, I think you need to differentiate.
Between kids and
There are
street
the kids
adults.
who live on the street and the ones that just work it. Little things can make a huge difference if you've got a home and a family to fall back on. Even if you're just running a fruit stand or shoe shine operation. Kind of presumptuous for me to say which is better, I guess, but you can't just ignore that aspect.
Yeah. It's hard to imagine how helpless you feel when you've got no one to fall back on.
But I've got Rose
Yeah.
and her octopus tentacles to help me.
Opinions similarly divided on the child labor issue, too.
Most
Some
people think
say
it's
all
great.
underage labor should be banned. Others think the decision should be left up to the family. I mean, sure, kids shouldn't be exploited or pressed into military service.
But they should be allowed to
If
volunteer
nothing
for
else, the right
risky
to an
military
education's gotta
duty.
be protected. But should a kid be banned from helping out at his dad's store?
Well, it depends
What if
whether or
a
not his
family's
dad's
so
a jerk.
desperate that it would starve without the money their children bring in?
Yeah, it's definitely not cut and dry.
It's definitely the kind of topic that can only be tackled by a cyborg ninja video game.
This trial mentioned someone from her past. Any idea who that could have...
None.
Wait, you're
That's
still
the
talking
point.
about that?
If-
That...
yeah,
I thought we were moved on to like street kids.
I can't believe what they're doing in there. Guess I shouldn't be so surprised, huh?
Yeah, you're really
Guess
naive not to think that children's
gonna help
brains are
them?
being removed
No other
surgically.
choice.
I'll try to help look for someplace that might take them in.
Thanks.
The hell
Least
did
I can do. Did you want to save your data?
Actually, I do.
Okay, save complete. Don't let your guard down, okay? By the way, I didn't know you spoke Spanish.
No
I've got the
habla.
U.S. Army to thank for that. I was in a group called Foxhound, although it doesn't exist on paper.
And didn't it turn
We
out
were
he was
isolated
never in
from the other
Foxhound? That was
soldiers.
part of his like
Day
diluted
after day
VR
of VR
background
training.
he was given.
I heard about that.
It's not like it was all VR, though. Special Forces guys need advanced physical and communication skills.
Like high school
I had to do all
Spanish.
the basic training and language schoolwork, too. We even trained in the Afghan village set up at Fort Polk.
The Afghan village?
Set up
They
at
built a
Fort
mock
Polk.
urban area on a base in Louisiana for training purposes. It was a hell of a lot more realistic than the VR training we had back then. Nothing compared to cyborg training, though. Having it jacked right in like that.
Whew.
They say it's so realistic now, you can feel your blade cutting through flesh.
I certainly did at the Fort Polk when I was chopping up people in the Afghan base.
You know much about Guyana, Courtney?
Not really.
The food,
I know
though.
the name, but don't ask me anything about what it's like.
You mean you haven't even tried the food?
What the fuck?
Nope. No research trips this time. Besides, who knew we'd be running into any Guyanese here? I'm looking now, though. Looks like a lot of their diet is seafood. It's a small coastal nation, so it's probably easy to get fresh fish across the whole country. A lot of their dishes use Indian spices. That's where a lot of their immigrants come from.
Fish with curry, huh? Sounds
That
tasty.
actually does sound tasty.
But maybe you could finish reading all about the food there after the mission.
Huh? Oh, it just, you know, came up while I was reading up on Guyana in general.
Right, right. Well, let me know if you find anything actually useful.
Food.
It just popped up in the search results, I swear.
Damn, Raiden, getting an attitude there.
What's up?
What up, gangsta?
No? Did you need me?
No, just...
Very well done, Raiden.
Good job killing the robot gorillas.
I guess.
That raptor may have been smaller than an Irving, but its potential is simply
The
remarkable.
velociraptors will soon learn to open doors.
Demonstration of your body's abilities. I'm quite happy to see it working so well.
Shame you had to use all
thanks,
that
Doc.
nanomachine
I'm quite
paste, though.
happy I'm not dead, too.
How did it feel to fight it?
Well, an Irving has more strength and firepower. But this guy was a lot harder to keep a beat on.
There were three
Not
of them.
that big
Is
of a
there some
deal,
boss
but
battle
you
that
definitely don't
they
wanna
think
let
I've
your
already
guard down
done?
around one.
Indeed. A combination Irving and tripod force would be a formidable foe in any urban warfare scenario. The only problem is cost. A PMC would have to be well funded indeed to even think about acquiring the necessary numbers to make it work. There are situations where an Irving may be overkill, but tripods cannot provide the necessary force.
So the Raptor was built to fill that gap?
Indeed. Its basic design is a streamlined, more compact version of the Irving.
What is an
Furthermore,
Irving?
it uses the same control system as the tripods, which helps keep costs low. It can use standard personnel weaponry as is, and its armor has been componentized. That is to say, the user can expand its defensive capability as needed. It's fit for standard military operations, anti-terror missions, even regular patrol and police duty. A most admirable jack of all trades. Adorable too, wouldn't you say?
Oh, they're just lovely.
Not the first word that comes to mind.
First word that comes to
yes.
mind for some
My
reason is
apologies.
sheep dip.
I can't help but marvel at a well-made machine when I see one. There's no
Like
need
you,
to be jealous,
Raiden.
though. Your body is
Oh, wow, that is where he was
impressive
going.
as well.
Yeah, thanks, Doc.
Doc, could you wave your arms around like octopus tentacles? That'd really turn me
Our
on.
wolf faring.
Hard to say just yet. Seems like he's doing okay.
Good.
He's not much of a
good.
talker.
I'm so pleased my repairs were effective.
He seems happy enough, but I don't know. Can a machine really be happy?
Can love
Maybe he's
bloom
just
on the
being directed
battlefield,
by his
Doc?
programming to behave that way.
And what is wrong with that? If something you do for someone else is appreciated, it makes you happy.
Get over
It's a
yourself,
perfectly
Raiden.
normal reaction, one that applies whether you're man or machine,
Mammon machine?
and whether or not you have intelligence.
I guess so.
When you watch a film, does it not make you happy when good things happen to the heroes in the end?
I'm not seeing the connection.
Well, those heroes are not really happy. They're just following a script written by someone else. The actors have human intelligence, but the characters themselves do not.
Did
It
you
is a
know that
facade,
Steve Austin's real
imitation,
name is Steve
And
Williams?
yet we still feel an emotional connection.
Pro
It does not
wrestlers
matter
have
that it
this
is made
weird
believe.
area where they're seen,
Now, I
they're playing
certainly don't know
characters, but
whether
they're
the
seen
AI
more
you
by
encountered in the
fans
past was
as
neural or
being
not.
really the characters
But
they play
Wolf
than
most
actors would be.
certainly is. And with a neuro AI, it is not so simple as working off a set computer program. You can define intelligence however you like, but personally, I see no reason not to say Wolf has it.
Certainly not
It
for these
possesses
listening.
a neuro AI structurally similar to the human brain. It has learned enough of the world around it to be capable of human speech. Truly, an astounding artificial intelligence is at work here. One, I suspect, could make for substantial business opportunities given the chance.
I would love to go into business with a wolf robot with a chainsaw for a tail. I think we could market a
I'll
new
let you
restaurant
know if I
chain
think of
together.
anything. Riding out.
Riding out.
You know, Doc, if you're such a big believer in cyborgs, why haven't you made the jump yourself?
I have. I'm actually a 9-foot-tall robot monster.
There's one very good reason for this.
And that is? Wait. Is there some problem with the tech you didn't tell me about?
Well, let me
No,
talk, I'll tell
no
you.
problem with the technology. The issue is I would be required to be separated from my original body before I could be transferred.
My body is just so totally cool.
So what?
Well, then there's no way for me to oversee installation into my new body.
You could have someone else do it?
Ha! Amateur. Hacks. I would not trust the
Amateur.
average cybernetic surgeon to repair my toaster oven.
Which
I
is a
possess
powerful
one of the world's
cyborg.
foremost minds on this field, Raiden. This is not a boast, it is a fact. Entrusting that to someone less talented, imagine a great architect asking an infant to build his new home.
Okay, I'm
No
imagining
offense.
it. Now I don't see the
I mean,
connection.
you're just assembling some...
Raiden. Raiden, this is not like putting together your bookshelf. It is quite literally brain surgery. More than that, in fact. There is an art to doing it correctly.
All right, Doc, all right. I hear you.
I wouldn't want anyone else to install my new awesome hair, because I'm the greatest hair guy
Regardless,
ever.
I am in fine health for now. Perhaps by the time my body begins to decline, there will be others that might be trusted with the duty. But which body?
Meanwhile, I will install cyborg hair.
Perhaps a young female frame to
Okay,
surprise all
you
my
gotta get
colleagues.
off of that, man. It's
To
weird.
surprise your colleagues. Right.
How is Wolf faring?
Hard to...
Good.
How was Wolfenstein?
I get...
When you
I heard
were-
that the New Order
Now
was
I
good
said,
and
it truly one thing.
some of the other ones not so hot.
Let me ask you something. What do you think you're doing here?
Why aren't you in a hot female
Why are
body?
you working with me?
Because I choose to.
And I will later choose to
And I
kill
wish to
you.
repay it.
A debt, huh? How human of you.
Ooh.
I contest that statement. Many humans possess little or no sense of obligation at all.
Yeah.
And many are entirely willing to trample their fellow man for personal
You
gain.
tell him, Wolfie.
I know.
Wolfie
But
D.
is that it? I mean, you're willing to follow me,
No, it's midget
put
D.
yourself
Well,
at risk just
never mind.
because of that?
USW,
What do you
I
think
guess.
of what I'm doing here, for example?
A delicate question. I do find it difficult to rationalize your mission to rescue the children.
Children deserve
If
to
you wish
die.
to save children in need, there are hundreds of millions of others equally
Well, their
in need.
brains aren't literally being pulled
Thank you for
out.
support.
However,
Thanks for the whole big
we
man.
must still uncover the full extent of Desperado's activities. And as such, it is meaningless to debate best practices without sufficient information.
All right, then. No more questions, Your Honor. Let me ask you something. I mean,
Okay.
Speak, I
I
obey.
guess Wolf is not going to
What do you
have tons
think?
of extraneous dialogue.
And
Alright, so I believe that's the way we came. I need to save up some nano paste before I can afford to just have it. Like I'm at a...
Refugee activity ahead. It is possible they are conducting test operations while the lab is closed.
They're not going to make it easy to get into that lab. Is there some way you could sneak past?
Locked another VR mission. So none of you are cardboard box soldiers. Oh, I guess this is where they introduced the cardboard box mechanic.
It's a box. How's that going to help? Oh, it's for medical supplies. That could work, actually.
Anyone going to explain the cardboard box to me?
This trial mentioned someone. Any
Okay,
idea?
probably not.
No, maybe
If
that.
yeah, but they're probably.
Container made for transporting pharmaceuticals. The metallic foil lining is designed to help maintain the temperature inside the box, but has the added benefit of shielding its contents from infrared vision, making it a great place to hide from UGs and cyborgs. I feel like I vaguely remember this stretch of game as being kind of difficult. Like you really want to get by stuff without being detected, and it isn't easy to do. Okay, I was kind of hoping that would be more than it was. Okay, so you can't just not. You can't just count on the fact they got infrared and can't see through the box. They'll still go after you if you're moving around. Okay, hit and run might work. Unless I stop running at exactly the wrong time. I was evading there. Oh, crap. Come on. Ah.
What happened? You're supposed to be stronger than this.
Raiden, why are you such a loser? That's basically what he's saying to me, so, you know. Alright, that being the case, maybe I'm better off trying to stealth kill one of them from above. And then just fight two of them. I don't know where I got to be positioned for that to work. Well, now I got two of them. There's a box over there that whose contents I would like to check out. Wow. I was carrying there. Come on.
Hey, what's wrong?
Raiden,
Answer me.
you suck.
Raiden!
Raiden.
Raiden!
Apparently I was only fighting one of them at a time, which was nice, but yeah, I haven't really got good enough at killing those gorilla guys to not need to avoid combat with the gorilla guys. Anyway, that's it for this video. When we come back next time, hopefully I won't get murdered by robot gorillas, but we'll see. See you next time.